Welcome back to GTL News. It's just me this time, no Ben, and we're going to be talking about the Cincinnati semi-finals, Djokovic's impressive win, Raonic on form again, Osaka winning, Azarenka back in a final again after such a long time, and of course some exciting challenger fixtures. So stay tuned. But to be honest, the place I want to start this video is talking about Bautista Agut and his performance really the whole tournament. He was just exceptional, and I feel like now he's been put back on the radar. Like a lot of people, he's sort of been disregarded a lot in the past, and people don't really talk about him in contention to winning things. And granted, he's not really won loads in his career, but people now have seen the real Agut and how good he is. And at the end of the day, he's beaten Djokovic the last 3 hardcore matches they played. And this one come extremely close. Obviously, he took the first set, 6-4, played some really good tennis, and then was really a bit unlucky in the second set to not take that as well, because he'd come back in that match. He was down a break from Djokovic. And then there's the controversial thing with the roof closing. And to be fair, I feel quite passionately about this. I don't think it's actually very fair what happened. Granted, Djokovic has nothing to do with it. I don't understand why people are trying to blame him about the whole thing, like the roof closing. But come on, there's time and a place. You don't have to close the roof. For a start, it wasn't raining. And you don't just close the roof when someone's trying to serve out in a really important point in the match. And at the end of the day, he got broken then, lost the second set, and it set out for an amazing third. And wow, I don't even know where to start on this set. Some of the tennis is just sublime. Agut is just ridiculous. He just gets everything back, and you can see a lot watching this match why Djokovic finds playing Agut so difficult, because he's just that guy who just won't go away in any points, and he hits it so deep as well. It's just at times really unplayable, but Djokovic being Djokovic, he stuck in there and managed to take a 5-2 lead going into the third set. I remember Ben messaged me at the time. He was like, "Oh, so it's over now then?" And I said, just wait. And to be fair, when I was saying that, I was thinking, I don't even know, I'm just probably it's the optimist inside of me, because I know how good Agut is, but it did turn out where he ended up holding, breaking, and then literally setting up a chance where he's serving out for the match. 30-all, 2 points away from winning the match. And then Djokovic does what he does best in the crucial moments, pulls through, managed to tie break, and then it was over really. From the moment it went to a tie break, I just didn't really feel too confident that Agut can do it. And Djokovic showed why he is number one and why he is now 22 unbeaten. It's tie breaks this season. He's won 10 in 2020, and the guy is just unstoppable. Really is unstoppable. He had a lot of discomfort during the game with medical timeouts and stuff with his neck, and a lot of looked like a sickness bug he's got. I don't want people coming on here saying, "Oh, he always does these medical timeouts," but I can understand both sides of it really, because it always seems to be that Djokovic will sort of exploit the fact of his medical inefficiencies during times when he's down in a set or when he's losing at certain times. It sort of breaks up the play of it a little bit. However, I don't doubt the fact that he has having a few issues with his neck and a bit of sickness as well. Obviously, the guy did have coronavirus not too long ago. I'm not sure if it's anything to do with that. I doubt it. Obviously, he's had loads of negative tests, but maybe his body is not fully recovered, and it's kind of led to sort of a few other illnesses he's going through at the moment. But I don't really want to speculate too much about the whole medical timeout things and a tactic. I feel like the main thing you would want to focus on is the roof thing. I feel like that roof incident is unfair, and I feel like it's not good for Agut, and I don't think he's going to be too pleased about that at all, because he was right in the match then, and it's just really unfortunate timing, especially the fact that it wasn't raining. But anyway, on to the other semi-final, and that was equally impressive. Maybe not as great as the big Djokovic match, but it was Raonic versus Tsitsipas. And to start that off, really, the first set, I would say Tsitsipas was the more dominant player. He had a really good opportunity to take the first set, having a set point, but then Raonic just pulled out an incredible winner with his forehand. And it's no coincidence that Raonic has hit the hardest, on average, forehands this whole tournament. And it was just evident, really, the power of this guy is incredible. And if his serves are just firing so well. I was excuse me, the first set he was winning all of his first serves, more or less, like 90% first serve success rate. And it's just, you can't compete with that. You just really can't compete with that unless you're the best returner in the world. Cue Djokovic final. So sets it up really nicely for that. But the first set, Tsitsipas on top, Raonic managed to pull through, win the tie-break, and then after that, it was just all Raonic really. Tsitsipas couldn't get the foot in, and what Tsitsipas has been doing so well leading up to this match is playing. Obviously, he's played Anderson, John Isner, and Opelka, all big servers. Is he's sort of mixed up his returning. So previously in the past, he was very much topspin returns. I think this little graphic I had, it was like 75% typically. That's what he would go for with topspin return. But during this tournament, what he's been doing is mixing out more like 50-50 with a lot more slices. And that's just a lot more effective because he's just playing a bit more of a defensive brand of play, which allows him to then get into the points. And when Tsitsipas is in a point, he's one of the best players in the world. And he can really dispatch the opposition and put the ball where he wants it. But he wasn't, for some reason, this game, he was going back to the Tsitsipas of 2019, where he was just trying to all the time going for the top spin return when he didn't need to do that. And he's seen that it's worked so efficiently in the other rounds, why change it? So really after that, I feel like the writing was on the wall because Raonic, with his power and the way he was serving, was unplayable. So he's into the final, and now it sets up an exciting final for Raonic Djokovic. What more can I say about that, really? Apart from the fact that I'm not as excited as I would be to have seen a Tsitsipas Djokovic final. The reason being, I feel like Tsitsipas can give Djokovic a much better game than Raonic can. For a start, so Djokovic is so good at returning, he can kind of suppress Raonic's serves quite a bit. And their head-to-head record says it all, really. Djokovic, 10-0. And that's what I'm saying, like, you can't really compete. And I feel like it's just going to be one of them matches what's over with within just over an hour, and Djokovic's going to take the title, which at the end of the day, I feel like he does deserve it because he's just been that standout player and he's just so good. When the chips are down, you think Djokovic is going to lose. He comes through, pulls in and win. I don't know how he won that game. After the interview, he said himself, Agut was the better player. But this guy just knows no boundaries. I don't think he knows when he's lost, and you can never, ever rule him out of a match, even when he's facing match points. So, fair play. And then moving on to the women's, I'm only going to do a quick overview because usually we'd do a podcast, but as Ben's not here, I just said I'd do a quick news, just like a recap, just for you guys, just so you can have a quick recap of some of the big matches yesterday. So with the women's, Osaka went through, relatively comfortable. Mertens had a bit of a fight back in the second set, but Osaka just looked really comfortable, and she's probably playing the best tennis, I would say, on the women's tour right now. And I'm glad that she definitely U-turned the decision to play in the tournament because the tournament's in a better place when the best players are playing in it. And I feel like it will do the world of good for the Black Lives Matter movement for her to be in this tournament, to potentially win the tournament, and then her to have a bigger platform to sort of spread her message. And hats off to her, honestly. She's just an incredible athlete on and off the pitch. And what she's doing as an activist, some people don't like it. For me, I admire her. I think it's brilliant. So, well done, Osaka. And then on to the Azarenka match against Jo Konta. This was a bit of a tighter affair. Jo Konta come out a bit quicker. She won the first set. But then, like we've seen this whole week, Azarenka, you can't really write her off. We know how good Azarenka is of the past. And since she's had a child, she's not really been as good as what she was. I don't think she's reached the final since like 2013 or something, 2014. So it's been a while since she's been at the top of her level, but it looks like she's certainly back there. And then she ended up taking the second set, and it was quite a close second set. Konta was trying to fight back, breaking back right near the death, but third set, right was on the wall. Azarenka come through and won it. So fair play to her. It sets up an exciting final now. Azarenka Osaka. I don't think anyone would have seen that final, but for me, I'm excited for it. I feel like Osaka could have the edge. She's got a lot more. I just feel like her style of play is just the best on the women's tour right now, from what I've seen. And granted, we've seen a lot of good players like Ons Jabeur and other good players playing, but for me, the way she's played consistently through this tournament has just been the best, and that's why I think she's going to win. A little thing about Azarenka, I don't want to put too much of a downer on it, but in the interview afterwards, they was talking about obviously the pause in play and like a bit about like basically let me rephrase. They didn't talk about it at all because Azarenka's team had suggested that they do not want to talk about anything about the stoppage in play, sort of implying that she was a bit upset about the fact that there was a stoppage in play. I just feel like here, you don't want to read too much into it because she's not saying she's against the Black Lives Matter movement. She's not going against what Osaka did. She's not saying anything. It's not the best look, really. Like, I feel like you should just kind of embrace it a little bit more like Elise Mertens. At the end of the day, she's just lost the match as well. So she should have more of a right to complain. But she was very much saying how she stands with Osaka and what she did, and she's happy about the stoppage in play. But you can look at it two ways. Maybe it's probably again about the whole fact that Azarenka wanted to keep playing and she wanted to keep her momentum going in terms of she didn't want that break and she felt like it was be a hindrance to her performance. But it didn't turn out like that anyway because she beat Konta, so that sets up a good final. And then finally, onto the Challenger tennis. Me and Ben will touch on this a lot more on the podcast we do, but for me, I feel like I'm just so excited. I want to talk about it straight away. And that is Carlos Alcaraz Garcia will be playing Lorenzo Musetti. And that is the fixture and on GTL we love the most. Like, they're both two young players. You've got a 17 and an 18-year-old, and they're both just ridiculously good clay court players, and it's going to be really exciting to see who comes out on top. For me, I'm really hoping that they can just, if Alcaraz wins, there's a good chance maybe he could get into the Roland Garros, either as a wild card or through qualification, depending on who drops out and who plays. It'll be good for him to get some more points on the board, that's for sure. But then on the other hand, Musetti, just what a talent, and it'll be brilliant for his whole career really to sort of be able to beat someone like Alcaraz early on. It will have it's good for his mental side as well, I feel, because these two are going to have a lot of battles over the years. The last time we saw such a young quarterfinal or semi-final, I think it's a semi-final, I believe, was with in Drummondsville in 2017, and that was Shapovalov Felix, I believe. So it just shows, look where them two are now. This could be the future of tennis, this fixture, I feel. And they've both got bundles of ability. So we'll see what happens there. I can't really call that match at all, but I will definitely be watching it. I'm sure you guys will too. I'm going to wrap it up there because I've probably been talking far too long. Thanks for listening, guys. Make sure you keep continuing to follow all of our other Cincinnati videos. Like, comment and subscribe. And I'll see you on the podcast with Ben shortly. Peace.